Zachary. Welcome to Practically Social. Today we're covering challenges to securing love in the romantic sense for episode 36 in this short 3-part series, Love, the Endangered Feeling. Today I'll discuss why I think love is endangered by listing my top reasons. In my past videos, Human Vending Machines and Commitment is Dead, I led up to some conclusions discussed here and why I think love is an endangered feeling. You can watch those videos, and if these topics intrigue you, I encourage you to check out the links I've provided in the video description. Feel free to share your conclusions in the comments. Here are some reasons I think love is endangered. The first is use of technology. Technology itself can be argued as the cause or solution for many things, and that's a fascinating debate. Perhaps it's more that tech is used in many ways which confuse things, much like some argue that globalization itself isn't the cause of problems, but greed can be. Tech gives us a speed of life level conducive to dopamine rushes, short attention spans, instant gratification, and instant rejection. It allows us revealing looks at market dynamics, their influence, and their outcomes. Using tech like the web and apps can be much like trying to mainline the world in minutes, whereby it disconnects us by making it harder to filter comprehensive information we can only collect in person and make conclusions from. Technology is full of faces, yet also faceless. When it comes to connecting via technology, I use the analogy of trying to place a value on music via Bluetooth and MP3 or VR versus being there for a live performance. If you want to plug into love, try unplugging your tech. The second reason love is challenged is consumer mindset. Consumption seems to outstrip creativity and meaning for a lot of people. The illusion of better choices and disposability drive many decisions in dating. Let's illustrate this with some information from Think with Google, who provides marketing insights via their channel and news feeds. Though a wider age segment was limited in their presentation, their recent survey discovered that 49% of Gen Z and millennials consider shopping to be a form of entertainment. Shopping is entertainment. Think about that for a minute. That's a huge part of consumer mindset that applies to dating and love. Another point, everyone has a list in their head of what they want their ideal partner to behave like, what lifestyle and financial profile they have, and physical qualities, yes? Isn't dating quite like shopping for your mate? It's one way to think about it. Dating apps are a bit like looking at merchandise, with sellers marketing themselves and savvy shoppers quickly reading labels. Additionally, with the economy, spending is slowing. We'll need more and more financial resources over the next decade just to keep our standard of living. So let's just say that with money being more important than ever, people are looking to save it and make it. Naturally so, more money equates to more resources and choices for most people. To quote a recent study, mate selection is both a biological instinct and a result of socialization. Financial resources are always at the top of many women's desired attributes list, according to many studies, while men with more financial resources will be more selective based on women's attractiveness. For more theory and results of mate selection preference based on short or long-term sexual relationships and conclusions, check out the Frontiers in Psychology article in my video description. But what about loyalty and consumer mindset as it applies to love and relationships? It's changing. Did you know that the same survey conducted by Google revealed that nearly half of respondents are looking for the cheapest price of an item, regardless of brand? No surprise, but what that translated to was that they weren't loyal to brand. When we talk about identity or brand identity, Companies are attempting to make you part of their brand and to get you to promote their brand lifestyle to others. So if we're moving as a society to less loyalty in lieu of looking for a better value, how does this translate to relationships? You want a better deal, right? Look at how complex that just became, and think about the influence of consumer mindset, money, and loyalty. I believe societal changes in consumer mindset, financial challenges, and loyalty all present significant challenges to being loved over time. Those considerations touch the surface, yet we can further take into account other areas of psychological and social research, such as pain aversion, conflict aversion, complexity aversion behaviors, or tendencies to avoid cognitive effort, and the array of variables that affect attention spans. It's documented that our attention spans are decreasing and are causing a lot of damage in love. Experts as of 2021, 2 years ago, said that we can pay attention for about 47 seconds. Think about how that is affecting not just love, but everything in your life. We need to work on this. We need patience and a good ear with people. Critical listening and what we're giving our attention to could mean the difference between something lifelong or something we never have access to again. There's a great article on this at the American Psychological Association with Dr. Gloria Mark. I'll leave the link in the comments section as well. Conclusion: we need to pay attention intently for those we love. The next factors affecting love in society are oversaturation of choice and disposability. A branch of consumer economics isn't completed without supply and demand. Oversaturation of choice adds complexity to choice in general. I think we can all agree that the more there is on the menu, the harder it is to make a choice, right? Secondly, if we're unsure of what the best choice is, or we don't like what we try, there's always something else. Often we feel the pressure of time, and we might not make the best choice to start, so then we switch, hoping for better results, with returns often getting worse and worse as time elapses. The law of diminishing returns applies here, leading many to conclude that dating and love is fruitless, or they quickly tire of finding a mate. Then we have disposability. Planned obsolescence and disposability were manufacturer concepts developed in the 1950s. Cars, food, containers, outdated technology, and countless other things are made to be upgraded, changed constantly, and are harder to keep older versions of, harder to work on, and frankly unfashionable if you're not keeping up. That's a daunting reality. Are we not socially shamed for being out of date or up to style? We long ago entered the age of disposability and the endangerment of love. So what's your conclusion there? Are people treating people like things? We're closing in on the last two reasons. This next reason is perhaps one of the most significant, I think. As a therapist who talks with clients every day, and as someone who's done a lot of online dating as an older man, which is just one of the myriad of perspectives that could be added to this discussion, I have to say that through my qualitative research, this factor stopped more relationships than any of the others. That factor is people's past damage and lenses. Turns out your past relationships have a huge impact on how you go forward with dating or loving new people. Trauma, abuse, neglect, infidelity, money issues, ideological differences, roles and directions in life, and as a couple, all massive collections of concern for millions of individuals. Do you think any of these things make people reluctant to communicate, try something new, work on themselves, or trust others? Time and time again, I see them as barriers for people that turn into depression, anxiety, loneliness, conflict avoidance, And yes, even rejecting the prospect of long-term love, simply because they can't get past the past. It is their lens, and they're not willing to change, don't have the resources they need, or both. I respect anyone's decision to be alone, but when the major reasons people want to be alone are because they have no hope for solid, trustworthy, long-duration love, they're really just isolating themselves, which is sad. Studies show that people are becoming more and more lonely to later and later ages every day. John Lennon said, "Give peace a chance." Well, who wants to give love a chance? The good news is, if we're in this predicament, we can work on it in therapy. Talk to your therapist and see if you're ready to address it. Now, given all I've said and the data I've introduced, let's circle back to our last reason for love woes. Truth fails. I discussed truth fails both in part 1 and part 2 of this series. If you haven't seen them already, please go check them out. Failure to tell our truth and the truth is also preventing and destroying relationships. Enough said. Thanks for paying attention while I detailed all of that. I know it was long. I trust it was worth it. So there you have it. Many of the reasons I think going into the new century that love is an endangered feeling. There are a lot of challenges. Technology, consumeristic mindsets, oversaturation and disposability, economic concerns, attention span and complexity issues, and lenses focused only on damage, the past, mistrust, and fear. All are threatening love right now. It's an endangered feeling. And I think I just shed a tear. Seriously. It's a scary time for everyone, but don't let that fool you into thinking love isn't possible. It's right in front of you, somewhere, and you'll have to look for it. If you're looking for suggestions, unplug the tech. Get started talking to people in person where you can connect, and look for the opportunities. Seek therapy for old issues, look for relatability, and speak truth. I'm sure you can do it. Let's keep working at it, shall we? I know I will. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to speaking with you again about the color of personality and the shape of things to come on the next Practically Social.